Fox Sports.
Batting practice continues for the Royals. After 16 more hits last night, the Royals are averaging 7 runs per game and hitting almost 400 as a team on this final homestand of the season. Another win and the Royals will finish with a winning record at home. Game 2 with Detroit is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Add Luis Mendoza to the list of players coming up from Omaha and making an immediate impact. He got his first win last night for the first time since 2008 as the Royals beat up the Detroit Tigers. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium for the last time this year with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and the Royals, among many other things, have improved playing at home, and with a win tonight, they can finish with a winning record at Kauffman Stadium.
And that would be really huge for this ball club. I mean, this is one thing they really wanted to do was play well at home and get the fans excited about this ball club. If they can finish over 500 tonight, I think going into next season, the optimism just continues to grow.
And another home field advantage for the Royals this year, at least lately, has been Eric Hosmer's bat.
He's been on fire. He just hasn't missed any pitches and didn't miss any last night. He was able to put together a great night with 5 hits.
And the pitches that he hit were all over the map.
And that's what good hitters hit bad pitching. And when pitchers miss their location, good hitters make them pay. And that's what Eric Hosmer was able to do last night against Brad Penny.
So 5 hits for him for the first time as a big leaguer. 16 hits for the Royals. They have 12 or more hits in all 7 games of this homestand. As a team, they're hitting .387, and they're hitting for power. 10 home runs, 29 extra base hits in 7 games. And the Royals have gotten very good starting pitching. It'll be Felipe Paulino tonight.
Well, the one thing about Felipe Paulino, you just one big word, command. When he commands his fastball and everything else comes along with it, he's very effective.
What really got the Royals going last night was Alex Gordon's leadoff home run against Brad Penny. It was his 5th leadoff home run of the year. He also had a leadoff home run against Tigers starter tonight, Max Scherzer, back on August 29th. Our final home game will salute some of the smiling faces at Kauffman Stadium when we come back. Royals win. Well, our last home game, we'll take you on a little trip. This is our daily journey when we come into Kauffman Stadium. First, we see Doug out in the parking lot. We park our cars, walk into the stadium. There's Ron waving us into the ballpark. And if you get in an elevator, you might see Caroline or you might see Dora. You get to the broadcast level, and Bob is sitting there waiting in the chair. When it's time to eat, we go up to the press box. There's Mike with a big smile down to the clubhouse. Ken on the left, Bill on the right, and then Colby Curry, Laura Grosshans, Dave Holtzman, and the rest of the Royals public relations staff. Some of the faces that we will miss as we wind down the 2011 season. Here's the Tigers batting order tonight.
Well, Austin Jackson will be leading things off for the Tigers tonight, and he's had a good year in some regards. Double digits in home runs, triples, and stolen bases, and Miguel Cabrera will be out of this lineup tonight.
Royals defensively tonight, presented by Ram Trucks.
Well, this outfield leads the league in assists with 50. They have a great year out there. And Eric Hosmer, 993 fielding percentage in his 121st start at first base this season. Felipe Paulino making his 19th start tonight.
And the Royals are finishing strong defensively. The French Quarter got another spectacular play from Jeff Francoeur last night. It's the Royals and the Tigers. Final home game of the year, and the first pitch is next. By Time Warner Cable. Get no fee HD with digital TV from Time Warner Cable. And in high definition, we are about to be underway, and now timeout called for a moment. It is not quite 7:10. So we appreciate home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman starting the game on time. But Felipe Paulino, he came sprinting out of the Royals dugout. He got warmed up quickly. He is ready to go.
All fired up.
And a fastball at 95 for a strike to Austin Jackson.
That fastball down. A lot of life to it.
1-1 on Jackson. Jackson had 2 hits last night. Drove in his 44th run of the year. Also struck out twice. And his next strikeout will be number 170. Two and two. Well, a good fastball. He's keeping it down, and that fastball just disappeared on Jackson. Three balls, two strikes. This is Felipe Paulino's second start against the Tigers this year. It is his 19th start since joining the Royals after coming over from the Colorado Rockies. One relief appearance and now 19 straight starts. And really has solid numbers for the Royals across the board. Other than his record, which is at 3-6. And a lot of that has to do with a lack of run support. Still 3-2.
Yeah, Austin Jackson is probably going to play a big part in the playoff chances of the Tigers. You always got to have a leadoff guy. Even though you got a strong middle, your leadoff guy's got to play big. And he's shown that he's capable of doing some pretty special things. You know, he's got 10 home runs, double digits in stolen bases, double digits in triples. So basic is about catching him hot at the right time to help the ball club.
It is a 10-pitch at bat with 5 foul balls. And tonight at Kauffman Stadium we have 67 degrees. We started right on time. Time and temp brought to you by the parking spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The parking spot at KCA. And Austin Jackson earned that walk. 11 pitches, 5 foul balls. And now he's at first with his 20 stolen bases. Let's welcome in Joe Goldberg.
Ryan, thanks. All the September call-ups now here with Omaha's season being over. And as expected, a lot of the guys very excited to be here. But Frank had pointed out that winning a championship was a big deal, and they were really excited to take part in that championship for Omaha. But I got to tell you, no one may be more excited than young 21-year-old reliever Kelvin Herrera, who was at Kauffman Stadium only one time in his life. It was back in 2008 as the Burlington Pitcher of the Year on Futures Night. That's rookie ball, Burlington, North Carolina. The future is now here for a guy that grew up in the Dominican Republic, idolizing Pedro Martinez, like he said most young Dominican pitchers do. He said that he looked up, saw his name in the clubhouse, couldn't believe the size, the thoughts of flying on a charter jet, and he said there's really nothing that compares to it. Guys?
Thank you, Joel. It is 2 balls and 1 strike on Don Kelly. That's been one of the great thrills this year for us, in addition to just watching these young players and play well, is to see the eyes the size of the moon when they show up in a big league ballpark for the first time, and they're not spectators, they're playing.
No, it's nothing like it. You try to prepare them as best you can as a minor league manager from Double-A up. You try to treat them as if they're in the big leagues. Try to teach them how to go into a major league clubhouse, how to greet your teammates, and when they see it for the first time, it's even special. But for these guys, they're seeing guys that they've actually played with in the minor leagues and had a lot of contact with in the minor leagues, so that makes that transition a lot easier.
Don Kelly plays at first base tonight as Miguel Cabrera gets the night off, and that was planned for Jim Leland before the series even started. And he lines out to right field. Jackson back to first, 1 out. Tonight is a carsoup.com email the booth night. Go to carsoup.com/Royals. Once you're there, CarSoup will ask for your zip code. Fill that in. You'll be sent to a different page. Go ahead and submit your question. And in the top of the 5th inning, Joel Goldberg will be joining us to go over some of your questions. Jackson's running. Perez got a pitch up. And it comes in on a bounce. Giavotella did everything he could. But Jackson is in with his 21st stolen base.
Well, Perez got Jackson last night trying to steal second base, and here he gets a pretty good jump off Paulino. Didn't have his high leg kick. A good pitch to handle, but just kind of threw it down in the ground. But everything was in Perez's favor right there. Just didn't get that good throw off.
One and one to Delman Young. Had a sacrifice fly last night. Good for his 54th run driven into the year. Otherwise was 0 for 3. Two balls and one strike. There was a time when the Tampa Bay Rays figured that Delman Young would be their number 3 hitter for a long time. And that's where he bats tonight with Cabrera out of the lineup. But didn't quite have the plate discipline to hit number 3.
And you really see that a lot in his swings. He does chase a lot of pitches that aren't strikes, and he, some kind of way he's able to get hits on a lot of them, but doesn't hit a lot of actual strikes.
Coming over from Minnesota on August 15th in the trade that sent Lester Oliveros to the Twins. And the trade occurring while Minnesota was in Detroit. He just switched clubhouses. And strikes out at a pitch up and in. So after the leadoff walk, Paulino has gotten Kelly and Delman Young.
This makes Paulino pretty special right here, that he doesn't really have command on both sides right now. This fastball runs up and in and really ties up Delman Young.
So 2 down to Victor Martinez. He had a couple of hits last night and also was hit by a pitch, so on base 3 times. He is one of the league's best with runners in scoring position. And Paulino jumps ahead, no balls and 1 strike. So his batting average is at .325, but with runners in scoring position, it is .382. Another base hit with runners in scoring position. Jackson around third, and the throw will come in late. And Victor Martinez drives in his 95th of the year, and Detroit has a 1-0 lead.
No, this is a real good piece of hitting by Victor Martinez. This pitch is up, out over the zone. He got his hands up where that fastball was and hit it back through the middle. And that's an outstanding piece of hitting right there. And Jackson scored from second base easily with his speed.
So Martinez comes through again, and now he's on for the catcher Alex Avila. Avila walked twice last night and was 0 for 1, and then Jim Leland, after he reached with a walk in the 6th inning, pulled him out of the game in a Royals blowout, and Omir Santos finished the game for Detroit behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Avila. One and 2. Felipe Paulino has really had good numbers for the Royals. He has given up fewer hits than innings pitched. He has only allowed 9 home runs in 113 2/3 innings, and he has 102 strikeouts in 113 2/3 innings. The walks have been a problem recently for him, but for the most part, that has been manageable since coming over from Colorado. And And he strikes out Avila. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. Now the Royals are coming up against right-hander Max Scherzer with this batting order.
Well, Alex Gordon lead things off. He had a big home run last night to lead the game off, and Salvador Perez has had an outstanding September. He's raised his average 60 points to 339.
32nd start for Max Scherzer. 14 wins. That's a career high. He had 12 wins last year. He has given up 29 home runs, which is the second most in the American League. Got off to a great start against the Royals. He's faced them 4 times. The Royals did next to nothing against him in the first 2 starts, but in the last 2, his earned run average is over 12. And Max Scherzer, twice in his last 4 starts, has given up 3 home runs in 1 game. And that included a game against the Royals when Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, and Alcides Escobar all took him deep on August 29th at the knees. And quickly it's 0-2 from Scherzer to Alex Gordon, who hit his 5th leadoff home run of the season last night off of Brad Penny, and his 23rd home run overall. 1-2. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. And while hitting his 23rd home run of the season, Alex scored his 100th run. A number that every leadoff hitter wants to reach.
That's a good number. I mean, that means you've been productive, you've been on base, you've done your job in the leadoff spot, and giving those guys behind you an opportunity to drive you in.
Grounds it to the left side. Peralta, all he can do is get a glove on it. And Alex has an infield single. Remind you to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in tonight's game. Who will it be tonight? Who was it last night? Well, it was Eric Hosmer going 5 for 5. The Royals hit 3 home runs. They had 16 hits. Luis Mendoza pitched well. Take your pick. Fouled back by Melky Cabrera. He had a 3-hit game, moving his average up to 305. It was his 59th multi-hit game of the year. Only Adrian Gonzalez of the Boston Red Sox has more multi-hit games in the American League than Melky Cabrera. Slider makes it 0-2.
Well, what a turnaround year for Melky Cabrera. I mean, this is a guy that came to spring training, didn't know if he was going to have a job, and going into last spring training, and they just got it. They said, you're going to be my everyday center fielder going into spring training. He just, once he stepped on the field there in Surprise, he's just been lights out to this point in the season.
So a career best season after a career worst season. He was hitting 50 points lower than he is now a year ago, with 14 fewer home runs and 44 fewer RBIs.
And you can really tell he was hungry for this year. When he hurt his ankle getting back into first base, they tried to take him out of the game. He played hurt. He wasn't afraid to go out there and try to get it done for the ball club, and those are all good signs.
Scherzer made him look bad with a pitch down and away. That is out number one. Ram Trucks will give us a look at the Tigers on defense tonight.
Well, Austin Jackson will be in center field with his 8 assists on the season. That's that speed in center field for the Tigers. On the infield, the corners have changed. Brandon Inge at third base. Don Kelly's moved over to first base in place of Miguel Cabrera. And Max Scherzer, his 100th career start tonight.
And his 10th career start against the Royals. 4 wins, 4 losses. Billy Butler with Alex Gordon at first and 1 out. Billy was scratched from the original lineup last night, dealing with the stomach flu. Billy has the most career at-bats of all the Royals against Scherzer. He has 26 at-bats and 6 hits. One and one. Scherzer has a very interesting note attached to his statistics. He is 14-9. However, 9 times this year he has given up 5 or more runs. That's the most of any pitcher in the major leagues with a winning record. So that'll tell you that he is very good at times, and other times he is very bad. And getting back to what he's done against the Royals, his first 2 starts, very good. His last 2 starts against the Royals, very bad.
It's all about location. You saw there, Alex Avila wanted that pitch inside, and he threw it way outside, and Avila was able to get over there and catch it. But it's all about command with Scherzer, being able to get the ball down, being able to get his ground balls, and be able to mix his pitches.
A slider is pulled fair past Inge, down into the left field corner. Alex Gordon will be waved home, and that didn't take very long. The Royals tie the game in the bottom of the first.
We always talk about location with Scherzer, and you see right here, this slider was supposed to be on the outside part of the plate. And this ball stayed right inside for Billy Butler, and he hit it right inside the line. Just past the diving Brandon Inge down in the corner. And with Alex's speed, that ball get deep in that corner like that, he's going to be able to score easily from first base. And it was nonstop, no hesitation. He was going to score on this ball. And you see third base coach Ed Rodriguez to windmill him on around from second base.
Royals just became the 4th team in Major League history to have 4 players with at least 40 doubles. So earlier this year, and not long ago, they became the first team in Major League history to have 3 outfielders all with 40 doubles. And now Billy Butler joins the group.
And gearing down for the playoffs, and Scherzer plays a big part in that starting rotation, for the Tigers. So manager Jim Leyland would love to see him have a good start, or 2 before going into the playoffs. But right now, command has just been the big issue for him in this inning. Eric Hosmer coming off his first Major League 5-hit game.
5 singles and a 3-run home run last night. He is 11 for his last 12 against the Tigers. And he just got underneath that. Austin Jackson makes the play in center field, 2 outs. The other teams who have had 4 players with 40 doubles. The Texas Rangers in 2006, the 1932 Phillies, and the 1929 Tigers. So since 1928, only 4 teams in history have had 4 players with 40 doubles.
That's unbelievable there. With so many great players, you'd think that would have happened a number of times. But, you know, the Royals players this year, their offense has just been really off the charts all year. And that outfield has really stood out in so many different ways.
One ball and 1 strike to Jeff Francoeur. Billy Butler also drove in his team leading 91st RBI with that double. So no ill effects of missing last night's game because of the stomach flu. And now Francoeur trying to get him home. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, that was some milestone double, wasn't it? Because now Billy becomes the first player in Royals history with 3 consecutive seasons or 40 or more doubles. So 1 and 2 on Francoeur.
And you say, wow, you know, Billy doesn't run fast. How did he get so many doubles? And just simple baseball language, he can hit. And when you hit the ball from line to line, then you got a chance to hit a lot of doubles.
Wanted him to chase a fastball up. 2 and 2. Francoeur 1 for 5 last night with an RBI, his 84th. He also made the defensive play of the game, running down a line drive in right field, taking away a hit and an RBI from Don Kelly in the 3rd inning. That's hit well to center. Jackson is back, and it will sail over his head, and the Royals will take the lead. So another double for Francoeur, his league leading 47.
Well, this one pitch that Jeff Francoeur can sure handle. This breaking ball that stays right out over the plate. Again, location hurts Scherzer. This ball's supposed to be down and away. It spins right in the middle of the plate, and Jeff Francoeur puts a great swing on it. And to hit a ball over Austin Jackson's head, you had to really hit it well. You can see Billy trots in from 3rd base.
Now Moustakas pops it up, and Avila in foul ground puts an end to the inning. 2 more doubles for the Royals, and they get 2 in the bottom of the 1st. DET.com and by Chevy's, your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Final home game for the Royals this year, and finishing with a flourish. They are 6-1, so it's already their best homestand of the season. Royals, going back to the end of the last road trip, they've won 8 of their last 9. And right after the Tigers got a run in the top of the first against Felipe Paulino, Royals came right back with 2 in the bottom of the first against Max Scherzer. And now is 3-0 on Johnny Peralta. The Tigers' run in the first started with a leadoff walk to Jackson. Victor Martinez drove him in with 2 outs. 3-1 to Johnny Peralta. 0 for 4 last night, and that puts his average right at 300. Leadoff walk. Remember, you can secure your priority to the 2012 All-Star Game with 2012 season tickets. It's the only way to make sure you are part of Kansas City history. And for details, go to Royals.com/2012. So leadoff man on to Andy Dirks, former Wichita State Shocker. Doubled last night. 1 for 4, also scored a run. He had been 0 for his previous 11 before that double. Oh and 2. Andy Dirks is getting a lot of playing time in right field. Tigers earlier this month lost Brennan Bosch for the season when he tried to play through a thumb injury, but that thumb eventually required surgery, so he's done for the year.
I would imagine Felipe Paulino and a catcher working together with his power and his hard slider, hard fastball in the dirt. It really can't be that easy to block his pitches in the dirt, but Salvador Perez really made that block look easy.
Right side past Giavotella and into right field. 2 on and nobody out.
You see where Perez wanted his pitch on the outer half, and this breaking ball goes down and in, and Dirks pulls it just by the diving Giavotella at second base. But then again, you know, it's all about location and pitching and hitting.
Ramon Santiago, a very good bunter, and he takes outside for ball 1. Second start for Paulino against the Tigers this year. No decision. Back on August 5th, he got no run support. And then a couple of years ago with the Astros, had his best start of that year, 9 strikeouts, so 16 strikeouts in his first 2 starts against the Tigers. He has 2 tonight, and Salvador Perez with a great play cuts down Johnny Peralta at third.
Yeah, that's what makes Salvador Perez so special. I mean, to be as big as he is, he definitely moves quick. His ball goes up in the air, he's out and running and catches his ball on one hop and makes a strike throw to Moustakas at third base to force Peralta.
Played that like a shortstop.
I mean, being a left-handed bunter makes it a little bit easier, but being able to catch that ball and throw it on the same hop, you know, that makes him a little special there. And just a great arm, and Moustakas did a good job staying and making contact with the bag.
Ball 1 to Brandon Inge. That really wasn't that bad of a bunt. Wasn't a great bunt, but it wasn't a terrible bunt. I mean, when he puts it down, I'm guessing Santiago has bunted enough where he figured, well, that's enough to get the job done.
Well, that's true, and I think the ball taking a high bounce and Santiago being left-handed really left a good lane for Salvador Perez to charge that bunt. It'd be the right-handed hitter, might have been a little bit different.
Brandon Inge did not play last night. Grounds that ball just foul. 2-1. Brandon Inge back in July was sent down to AAA. Really struggling at the plate. He has battled mononucleosis. That was in early June and having a tough time recovering from that. The Tigers needed a spot on their roster, so they designated him for assignment. And then he accepted the assignment to AAA. Into left field. Alex back to the chain link fence to bring it down. Two away.
Alex really played that long fly ball very well. I mean, he kept his eye on the ball, but was always conscious of where he was on the field, and he got that right hand out there. You saw first base coach Doug Sisson talk about this a lot. Use that bare hand, find out where that fence is, and he just knew exactly what he was doing on this. Never lost contact with the ball, but you see that right hand feeling for where the fence was. Good fundamental catch.
So the Tigers begin in the inning with 2 on and nobody out, but thanks to the Perez play and the Gordon catch, 2 on with 2 out. 1-1 to Austin Jackson, who had an 11-pitch plate appearance to begin the game. He fouled off 5 pitches in a row before taking ball 4, and he stole second, and Victor Martinez drove him in. Good pitch. 1-2. Andy Dirks at second base. Ramon Santiago at first. Two balls and 2 strikes. Foul ball from Austin Jackson. Tigers are making Paulino work, if anything. And in his start on Friday against the White Sox, Paulino did throw 112 pitches in 6 innings. 47 pitches so far tonight. Just missed inside. 3-2. Just missed inside with 97 miles an hour.
It seems like he's trying to maybe overthrow just a little bit. I don't know. He's really seen the word everybody used, amped up. It seems like he's really amped up out there tonight. He's just really trying to overthrow, and I think that's why his release point has been a little different. And his pitches have been pretty much kind of all over the place. And it's kind of hard as a hitter to zone him in. And I can see for home plate umpire Bruce Beckman will have a hard time also.
Runners are going. And it is fouled back. Runners take off again, and Jackson slashes it foul. Paulino is up to 50 pitches. We've been talking so much, and we should be, about what the Royals have done on offense lately. But over a longer stretch than the homestand, the Royals starting pitching has been very good. In their last 9 games, the Royals starters ERA is 2.4. And Luis Mendoza continuing that string last night, allowing just 1 earned run in his 7 innings. Jackson pulls it foul.
I think everybody can see that starting pitching really kind of controls everything that goes on with your ball club. And when the Raw started to turn it around, the defense got better. They put the ball in play a lot more frequently. Defense stayed right there. And the hitting, they gave the hitting a chance to come along and score some runs. And you get the good starting pitching, everything else kind of follows that starting pitching.
Jackson takes a strike. The Perez play turned the inning around, and the Tigers are scoreless. Time for our Sprint You Call It question. Most impressive rookie homestand. Man, Eric Hosmer 485, Mike Moustakas 462, Salvador Perez 522. Hosmer and Perez have also had fine series defensively. Scherzer throws a slider for a strike to Johnny Giavotella. Text 432-432. Enter keyword Royals, a space, and then A, B, or C. Oh, 0-2 on Giavotella. Let's let Joel lead off tonight.
I'm happy to lead off, but you know what, Frank, have you noticed that we have one guy that never leads off?
Oh, all the time.
I set it up.
No, but
it's in the manual.
Well, how about you go first for once?
It's called Ryan stuff.
Ryan's one of those middle of the lineup hitters. I can't bat lead off.
So whatever Ryan wants to do.
No, you know what? Part of it is I want to hear what you guys have to say.
Frank, I'm stalling here.
That's okay. I'm right with you.
I mean, the good news is we have three great choices.
I'm going to go with Perez.
All right, good. Thanks. Well, in that case, I'm going to go with Mike Moustakas because this is really the first stretch where we have seen him show the consistent power. I mean, all three of their numbers have been spectacular, and Perez with the defense to add in there, and Hosmer with the defense to add in there. Moose has played good defense too. I'll go with Moose. Those 3 homers there and the RBIs, looking very comfortable at the plate.
I'm going to follow you, Joel. I agree. I will go with Mike Moustakas.
All right, there you have it.
You know what I think, though, Ryan? I think this will be, because there really isn't a wrong choice. I think this, from a fan standpoint, will be just more of a, I don't want to say popularity contest, but who's their favorite player? I think that's what this will turn into. It's not like there's a Yankee out there to vote on.
Or vote against.
Or vote against.
Well, here's my guy. 3 for 3 with his second major league home run last night to the opposite field and into the second tier of the party porch. And it was his third 3-hit game in the last 4 games.
And we get a flashback here, and that's the kind of power he has to right center field. that's what I really like about him right now, is his ability to hit the ball that way firmly.
That clinches it. 1 on, 1 out. Perez is 4 for 4 in the series.
I mean, what more do you need? I mean, you know, Hosmer, he's now 5 for 6 in the series, so you can't vote for him. Oh, Ryan. Nicely done.
Our fans, you know, they factor in the batting average. Our fans factor in the defense. And our fans factor in that while the starting pitching has been very good over the last 9 innings, they deserve credit, but so does the catcher. Nice play by Santiago, handling a one-hop throw from Peralta. And the Tigers get the force on Perez. 2 outs.
The biggest thing that Peralta did right there, he caught the ball on the wrong foot, and that caused that ball in the dirt. But you can see right there, Santiago was just mainly just trying to get 1 out right there, and he stayed right there on the bag. You guys can be good lawyers.
Hey, Frank, Moose would have had a better slide. Just saying.
Well,
just roll with it.
Plus his mom's here. I mean, you got to factor that in too. I mean, he's doing all this for his mom. Most impressive rookie homestand. Eric Hosmer A, Mike Moustakas B, Salvador Perez the winner C. Text 432-432, keyword Royals, followed by your selection.
Can we at least say most impressive homestand by a rookie trio in baseball?
No.
Why not?
That wasn't the question.
True. Plus, everybody would just vote for Royals.
No, I still agree with you, Joel. I think Mike Moustakas getting that first glimpse of what he's really all about is what the fans had an opportunity to see in this stretch.
Because to me, there was a stretch here in this homestand, really all homestand, where you really felt like when he came to the plate, there was a good chance the result was going to be a hit.
1-2 to Alex Gordon.
Poor Eric Hosmer. No one's sticking up for the kid.
I think it's because we've come to expect what he's been doing.
Yeah,
what's he going to do to amaze us now?
We didn't even talk about him, and he's jumped into second place. He'll be at 50% before the night's out. It's the power of the Haas.
Oh, my goodness.
Escobar runs, and Alex lifts it to left. And it will ricochet off the hands of a fan and onto the field. Delman Young last night running into foul ground dropped an Alex Gordon fly ball for an error. And Alex made the most of that as he eventually reached in that plate appearance with a walk. Royals were running all over Delman Young last night. Not literally running over him, but on balls hit to left field, Eddie Rodriguez was not shy at all about sending runners to the plate. Still 1-2.
You know, third base coaches always look at the approach of the outfielder on base hits, and if they got a good approach where they got aggressively coming through the ball, got a good release time, and they know they got an accurate arm, then they really hesitate to send the runner. But when they slow it down, those are the things that third base coaches have to read. And when they watching the guy field the ball, watch where his base runner is, and deciding whether to send him home or not.
Escobar runs again, and it is taken inside. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, and 25 stolen bases for Alcides Escobar.
But he won't find one any easier than that one to take it. Slide it down and in. And Avila says there's no chance. He had a great jump off first base and just cruised into second base standing up.
Got him with a changeup down and away. Scherzer strikes out his third, and the Royals are scoreless. By the State of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. By Thoroughbred Ford. Find the new Ford you're looking for at thoroughbredford.com. And brought to you by Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, in theaters September 23rd, rated PG-13. 2-1 Royals. Felipe Paulino allowed a run in the first inning on a leadoff walk, turning into a run, and then worked around a leadoff walk in the second. Royals took the lead in the bottom of the first inning. Billy Butler and Jeff Francoeur with RBI doubles. Don Kelly lined to right his first time up, and he's ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. Don Kelly started at third base last night, finished the game at first, and he starts the game at first base tonight. Miguel Cabrera gets the night off. And Don Kelly can play everywhere, literally. He has added to his resume this season catching and pitching. He pitched against the New York Mets this year, so he has played all 9 positions at some point in his major league career. Still 2-2.
Hey, Ryan, I talked to Bob McClure, Raw's pitching coach, about Felipe Paulino, and I said, what have you seen in Felipe Paulino that makes you think that he can be a starter for this club next year? And he said he's got 3 quality pitches. That's what he looked for. He challenges hitters. He's got the ability to pitch backwards, the power in his arm, and also the ability to throw innings. He's a 200-inning guy, and you can see right there, he's got ability to change speeds. But he said the number one thing that's going to either make or break Felipe Paulino is fastball command. Fastball command improves, and everything else is going to come right with it.
Slicing away from Melky, so he'll play it on a bounce. Delman Young has a 1-out single. And that puts an end to an 0 for 15 for Delman Young. Saturday on the FX Game of the Week, our guys will be in Norman, where the Tigers will try to upset number 1 Oklahoma. The FX College Football Game of the Week, presented by Russell Athletic, begins Saturday at 7 p.m. in high definition only on FX. Changeup is outside to Victor Martinez, who drove in his 95th run with a 2-out single in the first inning. balls and no strikes. His career high for RBIs is 114. That was in 2007 with the Cleveland Indians when they came within 1 game of going to the World Series. They had a 3-1 advantage over the Red Sox. The Red Sox came back. They won the championship series, and then they won the World Series against the Rockies. 2-1. Happy birthday while we have a little shot of him there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Doug Sisson, who's had a huge impact, not you, Morgan. Doug Sisson, in his first year as Royals first base coach, outfield coach, and base running coach, has really taken this team to a new level in all of those departments, and today is his birthday. 2-2.
Well, it's been a fun year. I mean, you're a new coach. You're coming into the big leagues as a first base coach for the Royals for the first time, and you got to get to know the players. And one thing that Doug Sisson brings is that being the minor league coordinator, he's had experience with a lot of the guys, and they kind of know him, and he had a nice, strong plan coming in, and they bought into it, and everything's just been outstanding from then on, whether from a base running, from a defensive standpoint. And he's just a good baseball man. Very positive and very upbeat.
Talking the game right now with Chris Getz at the far end of the Royals dugout. And Martinez strikes out. That's 5 for Felipe Paulino. 2 in this inning. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, I got a couple of good messages today pertaining actually to Doug Sisson. The first said, Ryan, Frank, and Joel, I've enjoyed watching in Florida via MLB TV this season. You guys are great. The other one came to me via Twitter. Said, I sure have enjoyed watching you. Thanks for a great season. It is from Doug Sisson's sister, Karen Sisson, and she watches every game down in Florida. And when I mentioned to Doug that she had sent in a message to me earlier today via Twitter, he said, that's not a surprise. He said, she's the techie one, he said, in the family, involved in computer graphics and a former disc jockey. He said, me, I wouldn't even know how to get on Twitter. He said, she's the smart one in the family. She's the one with all the talent. I think we could probably say that both of them have plenty of talent, but nice to see that Karen watches every night, and I'm sure she's wishing her older brother, a happy birthday too.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Karen. 1 ball and 1 strike. I've only been here 13 years, but I can't remember a coach in his first year having the impact. I'm not just talking about one part of the game, but 2 parts of the game, defense and base running, that Doug Sisson has had in his first year with the Royals.
And you're not really talking about guys who have great base running speed. If you go back to Johnny Damon and Carlos Beltran, those guys were natural speed base running guys. But he took the average base runner and just using a stopwatch and reading the pitcher's deliveries to the plate, he's really changed that around. And just that overall aggressiveness of looking at the angles of the ball, going to the outfield, going first to third, those are key things that average base runners can do to make themselves better base runners. So he pretty much covered the whole gamut on base running and just took average base runners and made them better.
And made them want to be better.
Yes.
I mean, Jeff Francoeur will admit that he wasn't really into all the base running the Royals were doing in spring training, and now he can't wait for his next stolen base. And it's more than just stolen bases. There's no way to quantify this, but I'm very confident in saying that Jeff Francoeur leads the Royals in hustling doubles. And I'm sure earlier in his career he would have rounded first, happy with a single, but now he's trying to stretch it into a double.
Well, just having a good feel for the game, and you get in that aggressive mode and you start looking for ways to exploit the defense, and you know how the ball's coming off your bat, you know where it's coming, you know the angle the outfielder's going to try to cut the ball off, and you try to exploit all those things.
Did Avila go? He did. Paulino strikes out the side. He has 6, hitting Kelly for the first out. Then Martinez and Alex Avila to end the inning. Director in Lot L at the Truman Sports Complex and has worked Royals games for 25 years. He and his wife Bert, who also works as a seasonal associate, love baseball, their kids and grandkids. And on this final home game of the year, Virgil and Bert represent the best of the Kansas City Royals as they sit in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game. Royals in front 2-1. And if the Royals can pull off a win tonight, they will finish with a winning record at home. At the moment, they are at 40-40.
Then I asked Jeff Francoeur about that, how important he thought that was, and he said he thought it was really important that they finished 500 at home, but he thought even more important was the fact that they've been able to go through the White Sox, the Twins, and the teams that they have to play next year. He thought that by playing well now against the Tigers, the White Sox, the Twins at this time of the year, he's hoping it really sends a nice message next spring when they go to spring training to let these teams know that the Royals finished so strong in September that these are the teams that they've really got to look out for next year.
And I think those teams are already looking out for the Royals next year.
You get nothing but great compliments.
Well, he cracked his bat. Max Scherzer struck him out in the first inning. Tigers got one in the first. Victor Martinez driving in Austin Jackson. The Royals came right back against Scherzer in the bottom of the first. Billy Butler's double drove in Alex Gordon. It was Billy's 40th double of the year. And then Jeff Francoeur's double got Butler to the plate. Still 1-2. Melky is 2 runs scored away from 100, and he is 5 hits away from 200.
What a year.
Still 1-2. So the Royals should finish the season with the number 1 and the number 2 hitters both scoring 100 runs and both hitting right at or right above or just below 300. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 9th pitch is ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Melky comes back after falling behind. 10 pitches. Scherzer gives up his first walk, and it's a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 3rd. And now Billy Butler, who missed the game last night, dealing with the stomach flu, and then doubled at the left field line in the 1st inning. His 40th double of the year, making the Royals just the 4th team in Major League history to have at least 4 hitters with 40 doubles apiece. It also made Billy the first player in Royals team history to have 3 straight seasons of at least 40 doubles.
This happened in the 1st inning. Got a slider, got it just down the line by Brandon Inch down in the corner, and Alex Gordon scored from first base on this double by Billy Butler. Didn't waste much time.
1 ball and 1 strike. Dirks is there. 1 out. Eric Hosmer comes to the plate, and we'll look at our league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. The best from August 21st to September 21st. Eric Hosmer up there with veterans Adrian Beltre and Adrian Gonzalez, a couple of Adrians. Yo, Adrian. Yo. So of these 3, a batting average of at least 300, and Hosmer at 393, at least 8 home runs, and at least 20 RBIs.
Hey, look at Eric Hosmer. He's in the biggest ballpark of the 2. The ball travels in Texas and also travels in Boston. A great company.
One ball, 1 strike.
Well, there's no cheat in his swing. He lets it go when he makes up his mind to swing. It's no checking. I mean, he's going to put a good swing on the ball. That was a good pitch for him to swing at right there.
Two balls and 1 strike. Became the 4th rookie in Royals history to have at least a 5-for-5 game last night. Of course, the best was Kevin Seitzer in his rookie year, 1987, when he went 6-for-6.
As a hitter, you can only hope for a night like that. 6-for-6. I mean, wow. I think last night Hosmer needed just another at bat.
Tigers with a chance to turn 2, and they do, although Hosmer's running hard made it close. 2-1 Royals at the end of 3. Megabits per second of pure online power. Good power tonight with Paulino and Scherzer. Felipe and struck out 6, including striking out the side in the 3rd. Scherzer has struck out 3. Johnny Peralta walked leading off the 2nd inning. Pulls that to Moustakas, who knocks it down with the bare hand. Strong throw, and Hosmer bails him out.
Peralta really jumps all over this ball, and Moose did a good job just trying to keep this ball on the infield, and did a great job tracking it down and getting a great throw over to Hosmer, who picked it in the dirt, got off the heel of the glove, stayed right with it. A nice strong throw. Hosmer does the rest with a beautiful pick at first base. That's all you can do right there, the third baseman, just try to keep it from getting by, and he stayed right with it. Now, I would have expected to see, after Haas make that nice pick, a little hand clap from Musso. Thanks for saving me, big guy.
Andy Dirks out into right center field, so that play by Hosmer and Moustakas is a big one. Dirks is 2 for 2. Runner at first with 1 out. Well, Hoops fans, the Progressive CBE Classic is back in Kansas City. Come out to Sprint Center to see Mizzou take on Notre Dame, Cal, and Georgia November 21st, followed by the championship doubleheader on the 22nd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Andy Dirks has 5 stolen bases. The Tigers are dead last in the league in stolen bases. Moustakas runs out of room, so before the dugout suites were built, that was foul territory where a third baseman could go over and make the catch. Tigers have a stolen base tonight. Austin Jackson stole against Paulino and Perez in the first, but the Tigers have 99 fewer stolen bases than the Royals do.
I think Jim Leland's pretty much old school when it comes to stealing bases. He likes to let those big guys swing them back. Kind of steals when he has to, but not to just run because he wants to run. He doesn't want to give any outs away when he's got guys to play that can drive in a guy from second base. I'm sorry, from first base.
In the air to left center, and it moves its way over to Alex Gordon for the second out, and he jerks back to first base. Fox Sports Kansas City has a new way to watch high school football. Watch 4 games each week at foxsportskansascity.com. It's totally free. Watch our weekly show with analysis of the top teams. Friday night, Fox Sports Prep Zone coverage begins September 30th on foxsportskansascity.com. Brandon Inns just missed hitting a 3-run home run in the second inning, driving Alex Gordon to the chain link in left field. One ball and 1 strike. One and 2.
That's really a tough pitch for Brandon Inns to handle right there. That hard slider that starts in the middle and goes down and away. But you know, we've seen many times, especially last season, Brandon Inns gets a fastball. He usually don't miss those fastballs.
And he strikes out on the slider. And Felipe Paulino has 7. Pepsi Max is proud to be the official soft drink of the Royals and the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. Look for Pepsi Max at your neighborhood Hy-Vee food store. Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Both teams scoring in the first inning. Jeff Francoeur put the Royals in front with his 2-out double in the first to straightaway center field. His league leading 47th double the year and his 85th RBI. ball and 1 strike. Al McRae with the team record in 77. Billy Butler 2 years ago had 51, and now Jeff Francoeur with 47. That is out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Billy Butler, when he doubled in the first inning, that gave the Royals 4 hitters with at least 40 doubles. Only the 4th team in Major League history to accomplish that. It gave Billy 40 doubles, at least 40 doubles in 3 straight years, and then Francoeur's double puts him in the top 3 all time.
You got to look at Billy's doubles too, Ryan, as being actual doubles for Billy Butler. You don't see him stretching a questionable base hit into a double where you've seen Francoeur do it and Malcolm Cabrera, Alex Gordon. But Billy's doubles are true doubles.
What about stretching a triple into a double?
Think about that one for a minute.
Francoeur strikes out. Scherzer has struck out 4. Now Mike Moustakas to the plate. He is 0 for 1. Made a nice defensive play with the help of Eric Hosmer in the 4th.
Put in a good job on his hot shot off the bat for offense. Eric Hosmer does the rest, but as a third baseman, your job is just knock it down and try to make a play. He does that, just that, stays with it, makes a strong throw. Hosmer bails him out on the other end.
No balls, 1 strike. In our Sprint You Call It question for tonight, the most impressive rookie homestand. What happened to Salvador Perez? Running away with it.
He would have been my second choice, but I think people still see those 5 hits that Hosmer got last night. But they really overlooked the fact that Moustakas brought a little power with his stuff, So Moose, we're still with you, Joel and I.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The question was the most impressive homestand of these 3 rookies, and this was before tonight. Eric Hosmer 485 with a home run, 6 RBIs. Mike Moustakas 462, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Salvador Perez 522 with a home run and 6 RBIs.
Here comes the homer right now. If he homers, everybody's got to vote for him, right, Frank?
I agree with you. Home runs have a way of bringing people around.
Plus, I think most of our fans like steak. Right?
And they should.
Yeah.
Problem is, so does Hosmer.
But the steak's got to come from the right place.
What does that mean?
Well, that was Frank's sermon the day after Salvador Perez hit his first major league home run in Detroit. And we're talking about the most impressive first major league home run of the rookies. And see, you and I went with Hosmer, I believe, Joel, at Yankee Stadium, but Frank, he didn't care about the potatoes and the vegetables and the cranberry sauce and all that stuff. And that was basically the circumstances. Moustakas strikes out. That's 5 for Scherzer. You and I were impressed with, it was very early in Hosmer's career. It was at Yankee Stadium. Everything surrounding that, so that's why we took him. But Frank, he didn't care about all that. He wanted to go. He didn't care about all the side. Well, we have a tape of that somewhere, don't we?
Well, we didn't care about the families in the stands. We didn't care about all that. We didn't care about Yankee Stadium, the atmosphere. We didn't care about that. It was about the home run. And the home run, it's not the ball that just gets over the fence. That's a home run. But when the ball goes way, way, way over the fence, that's when people remember.
Is this part 2?
Nope. You guys know the story.
that was the best rant of the year.
Line to center. Jackson was shallow, and he makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for the Royals in the 4th. one against Felipe Paulino in the top of the first. The Royals came right back and got 2 in the bottom of the first against Max Scherzer, and the Royals are trying to finish the home schedule with a 7-1 homestand.
Well, everybody say, do the Royals have anything to play for? I think tonight they're playing for this above 500 homestand and above 500 year, and I think that's a big feather in their cap, and they're just taking everything that they can take out of this season as a momentum builder going into next season.
Oh, and 1 to Austin Jackson. Tonight is a carsoup.com email the booth night. And let's check in with Joel to hear about some of your emails, as Escobar can't quite catch up to it, and Jackson is on for the second time tonight, both times leading off an inning.
Ryan, we have a lot of emails. It's not our last Car Soup night, but it is our last Car Soup night at home, and a lot of fun ones to get to. James Meyer, Overland Park, wants to know, what kind of moon is there tonight? Should I go with the steak or vegetables? Your thoughts, Frank?
Well,
that's someone who's paying attention.
Yes.
According to my watch, there's not much of a moon tonight at all. And as far as the vegetables, it depends on what the trimmings are all about. But the meat of anything is always the most important thing to me, not the trimmings.
Okay.
I'm told it's a waning crescent moon tonight, but
where is it?
I don't know.
It's in the sky, guys.
I mean, it's on the field. Randy Cook in Omaha. Nice message. I just want to say that Ryan, Frank, Joel, Monty, and Split did a great job this year with Royals baseball, and we certainly appreciate that mention and the inclusion in our good friend Paul Splitter.
Yes. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Moving right along. Crack bat and a base hit to right field. Jackson will go first to third, and Francoeur throwing all the way. Good play by Moustakas, smothering that ball, making sure it didn't skip by him and allow Don Kelly to go to second base.
Yeah, we've seen Jeff Francoeur make this play before against Johnny Peralta, going to the line like that, but Austin Jackson's a little bit faster, but it's still a strong throw. And Moustakas does a good job just moving off the base and making sure he stops the ball.
How many guys can throw the ball that far on the wrong foot?
Not many.
Jan Bender in Concordia. Has Eric Hosmer ever played any other position but first, and will he ever try some other position? Yeah, guys, there was some talk early on, but it's pretty safe to say this is the first baseman for many years.
Well, he played a little bit of time in spring training in the outfield, and I don't think there was any intention of making him an outfielder, but just give him another option because he is so athletic. But I would say that's where he is going to be, unless maybe he's a DH every now and then.
Well, that's true, and I heard some scouts talk about when he was in high school about his ability to pitch, and you know, he does have that on his resume, but I don't see him doing that at this level. But I think he's got a chance to be a first baseman in this league for a long, long time.
Curtis Lang in Salina. Frank, it's that time of year players get called up. What was June 12th, 1973 like for you?
June 12th?
That's what the email says. Was it June 12th? It was June 12th, right?
Yeah.
73?
Outstanding.
That's it?
What happened?
Well, I got called up from Omaha. Freddie Patek pulled a hamstring muscle. Met the plane here in Kansas City, flew to Baltimore, which was at that time my most favorite team because I love the Orioles and the way they play baseball. Got into a game in the 7th inning of the game, and the old Memorial Stadium in Baltimore had low light standards, and got a high hopper to shortstop. Lost it, hit me in the chest. And that was my introduction to professional baseball. But it was really a fun thing for me because I was the last player cut out of spring training, so I really knew all the guys, and it made it a lot easier for me to come in.
How old were you when you made your big league debut?
I want to say 23.
Young strikes out. So Paulino comes back after falling behind 3-0. He has 8 strikeouts.
This is what he's got the ability to do, just drive that 96-mile-an-hour fastball to the bottom of the zone, and that's a tough pitch to handle, tough pitch to keep fair. I had a really quick rise to the big leagues. When I signed in the baseball academy, I was about a month from turning 20, and then when I was 23, I was in the big leagues.
Terry Ruth, Kansas City. Frank, who had the meanest double play breakup slide to come at you at second base? You didn't have to deal with Hal McRae.
No, Frank Robinson, Brian Downing, Don Baylor. You could just name them back in the day because they had no rules for sliding, and it was the thing that helped me was Hal McRae and George Brett were two of the most dangerous guys in breaking up double plays. So it made our life a little bit easier around the bag. But I think those three guys really stand out. But Reggie Jackson was tough.
And there was one guy you pointed out that you could hear him coming.
Oh, Kurt Gibson. Yeah, he was definitely tough. Coming in there to break
snorting all his way to second base, right?
You can hear him coming. That's from his football days. Well, life definitely got easier around second base after Hal McRae took out Willie Randolph in the '77 playoffs. Then they changed the rule where the base runner had to slide before he got to the base, and that made life a lot easier for all of us up the middle.
Still one of my top 5 baseball highlights ever.
Yeah, I agree with
Hal McRae slide on Willie Randolph. And then pinning him to the ground and waving the runner home.
That's what he said. Anytime you're on second base when he's on first, just keep going.
Switch gears a little bit. Mike Fusell in Hayesville, Kansas. What are Frank's, Ryan's, and Joel's favorite baseball movies? He said, I love Sandlot. Mine's Bull Durham. How about you guys? Could be Moneyball starting on Friday.
I'm a softie. I liked For Love of the Game.
Well, that was a good one. Field of Dreams was good. One of my favorites was a movie called Finding Buck McHenry with Ozzie Davis. I think Ernie Banks was in that movie.
What was the name of it?
Finding Buck McHenry.
You ever heard of that one, Joel?
I think we should, every now and then we've been known to do a Fox Sports Kansas City bowling outing on the road, Ryan, that you often will schedule, or Kevin Shank will schedule. Maybe we should go with a outing to see, what's it called, Frank?
Finding Buck
McHenry.
I've never seen that. Now look at all.
I don't want to ruin the plot, but do they find him?
You guys are real good at research. So get on your iPhones and iPads and look it up.
It's a Sprint phone for me, by the way, but just wanted to point that out.
Right side, Giavotella gets a glove on it, and the second out. The Tigers tie the game. So Martinez has driven in both runs, and both times he has gotten Austin Jackson to the plate.
So what you want to try to do is keep the ball on the infield, and Johnny Giavotella does that. Makes a nice diving stop to his left. No play at second base, and was able to keep that ball from getting to the outfield. Got the easy out at first base.
The Natural's a good movie.
That is a very good movie.
How about Major League?
Good movie.
Go Back a Ways, Pride of the Yankees? Probably not. It's the Yankees.
Alex Avila has struck out twice against Felipe Paulino.
Jim Lang in Salina. Frank, when we used to come watch you play, you had the smallest glove of anyone playing. Why?
He had big hands. He didn't have a small glove, right?
On my
yeah, was the glove as small as it looked? John Kelly is going to move up to third base on the throwing error by Salvador Perez. I've heard that question come up quite a bit, that your glove seemed very small, but you also had very big hands. Still have big hands.
All right, You can see right here, Salvador Perez gets this ball way too much to the shortstop side on this attempt to pick off Kelly at second base. Ryan, what I tried to do was find a glove that sort of would fit my hand, but just a little bit bigger than my hands. And I really felt I wanted a smaller glove, mainly for the double play. I didn't want to have a bigger glove to try to get my fingers caught all up in trying to find out where the ball was. But I was probably maybe 11 inches, maybe 12 inches on the glove, but it appeared smaller. But like I say, the double play for a second baseman is the most important play. And I told you a long time ago in this season, I said, no matter how long your glove is or how big your glove is, there's always going to be a ball go off the end of it.
3 balls and 1 strike on Avila.
But believe it or not, my hand won't even fit in the glove that I've played with when I played. It was that small.
So just a little bit bigger than your hand.
And Joe Morgan used a really, really small glove too.
2 outs, guys, and I want to thank everybody for the nice, kind emails tonight. I should mention, and she's a regular, Lorraine Winslow emailed us in. She just said, I'm going to miss you guys. Is TJ ever going to call? See, that was a great 2-out story. Question.
Melky makes the catch in left center field. How about we'll just give you his number? Were the other 3 Royals rookies to ever go 5 for 5 and drive in 3 or more runs. Hosmer last night against the Tigers, which included a 3-run home run. Told you about Kevin Seitzer's game in 1987 when he went 6 for 6 against Boston with 7 RBIs. So who are the other 2? What a year Kevin Seitzer has had leading this young Royals offense. Man,
it's been phenomenal. I mean, his ability to sell himself to guys early when they got here, realizing that they need to make a change and not really saying, hey, you got to make a change, but waiting patiently until they realized that they had needed to make a change and getting in there, giving them something to work with and something to work with quickly. And he's been able to really rejuvenate some guys' careers this year.
Peralta can't get to the ground ball from Salvador Perez, who is 5 for 5 in the series. So he was hitting .344 before that base hit. And he will add to that.
But the one thing you see what he's doing a good job of hitting the ball where it's pitched. His ball was moving in on him. He stayed through the ball and got the ball back up through the box. And I talked to him before batting practice. I asked him if he was doing anything special at the plate, and he said, see the ball, hit the ball. That was it. No thinking involved.
Well, that's good for a .350 batting average now. This is a guy who hit .280 as a minor league hitter, doing his best work in the big leagues. Wanted foul by Alcides Escobar. Escobar this year has 17 sacrifice bunts. Only Juan Pierre of the White Sox has more in the American League. Now Perez runs, so a hit and run, and that's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Even though Alcides Escobar had 17 sacrifice bunts, I don't think that Yost really liked that first bunt attempt that he saw and decided to switch from the sacrifice to the hit and run.
Escobar has 3 home runs this year, and one of those 3 was against Max Scherzer. It was the last time the Royals faced Max Scherzer on August 29th.
And this shows you that good things ahead maybe for Escobar as he fills out. He gets a fastball on the inside part of the plate, hits a line drive into left field seats in Detroit.
Chopped to short. Peralta to Santiago. And out at first base. According to first base umpire Gary Darling. And maybe only according to first base umpire Gary Darling.
So we take a good look at it here. And see how Alcides Escobar did exactly what we preached, hit the front part of the base, and he appears safer, faster, as we see it right there.
Alex Gordon singled in the first inning and scored. Billy Butler driving him in, and then Scherzer struck him out in the second. Right center field, Dirks makes a nice play. So only 3 come to the plate for the Royals in the 5th inning. be part of Kansas City's 2012 All-Star team. Register now to be considered for the many 2012 All-Star Summer and All-Star Fan Fest volunteer opportunities. Apply to be a Kansas City All-Star now at allstargame.com. Felipe Paulino gives up 2 runs and strikes out 8, but only able to go 5 innings because his pitch count is over 100. So Tim Collins and a Chevy call to the bullpen will take over in the 6th. And it is a good night, if there is such a thing, for a short outing from a Royal starter, because last night they got 7 innings and tomorrow is a day off. And the Tigers will send up Johnny Peralta, Andy Dirks, and Ramon Santiago. Peralta walked in the 2nd inning, and then Dirks singled. The Tigers had 2 on, nobody out. Ramon Santiago tried to lay down a sacrifice bunt, but Salvador Perez jumping out of his crouch, grabbing the ball with his bare hand and getting a force at 3rd base, and that turned the inning around, forcing out Johnny Peralta, and the Tigers ended up hanging a 0 on the scoreboard in that inning. And then Peralta in the 4th inning, the victim of another good defensive play. Hit a hot smash to 3rd that Mike Moustakas stopped with his glove. A strong throw to 1st was picked out of the dirt by Hosmer. Well, that's what she thinks about that last call.
Wow.
Man. So Peralta has his first hit. And Andy Dirks will be called back to the dugout, and it'll be Ryan Rayburn. And Andy Dirks was 2 for 2. To Rayburn.
Good fastball by Collins right there. The one thing about September is that it's hard to match up. You know, you make your pitching moves, but there's always another move on a team's bench in September because they call players up.
One ball, 1 strike. Crack bat out at 2nd, and Hosmer got a glove on it but couldn't hang on. So the Royals get 1.
Seattle City's give Vitelli a little bit of a high feed there, but he gets rid of it pretty good there. And Hosmer, you can see it go in his glove, but just wasn't able to squeeze it before it got out of there. But good turn by Vitelli. Throws down, and Hosmer got that big swipe, and I think it works a lot better when the hop is a lot shorter on that side. And he gets in between there, he catches at his highest point, then it's kind of hard to catch it and squeeze it at the same time, so it gets thrown back out.
So the switch hitter Santiago moves over to the right side. He is 0 for 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Filling in at 2nd base, Carlos Guillen on Sunday left the game in the middle of the game with a calf strain and hasn't played since. So the versatile Santiago fills in at 2nd base. Two and 1. Visit the official online shop of the Royals at Royals.com for the largest online selection of official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get ready for fall with the latest sweatshirts and outerwear for the whole family. A large variety to choose from. Shop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Royals.com shop. Up the right field line, and that is a foul ball, just barely. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre with Frank White and Joel Goldberg, along with producer Kevin Shank, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is T.J. McGinnis. As Santiago strikes out, 9 strikeouts for Paulino and Collins combined. 2 outs in the 6th.
But Tim Collins just powers this fastball right by Santiago. I mean, he's just a little bit late on this fastball. Very good fastball.
And now right-hand hitter Brandon Inge comes to the plate. Ed Yost says that's enough for Tim Collins, and it'll be Lewis Coleman in a Chevy call to the bullpen. It'll be Lewis Coleman replacing him with 2 outs in the 6th inning. And throws ball 1 to Brandon Inge. Inge flied to the fence in left field in the 2nd inning, and then struck out in the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Big strikeout night for the Royals. Another big strikeout game for Felipe Paulino against the Tigers. And Inge pops it up. Moustakas trying to get around Gene Lamont. And he makes the catch. The Royals bullpen combines for a scoreless 6th inning.
Well, we all tied up as we go to our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant tonight is Jeff Swift from Kansas City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Jeff will win $500. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jeff will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
And we say thank you for watching Royals baseball this year. Still have 4 more telecasts during the next road trip. Friday night in Chicago, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Minnesota. Ryan Rayburn stays in the game in right field. And the new pitcher is Doug Fister. Melky Cabrera drives it over Austin Jackson. And the Royals have the go-ahead run at second base with nobody out. 43 doubles for Melky Cabrera.
Doug Fister comes on and first pitch fastball. Cabrera drives us into left center field. Just stays back and hit his where it's pitched. Gets through the ball, finishes well, and ball travels past Austin Jackson in left center field. And Cabrera trots into second base with a double.
3 doubles tonight for the Royals. Butler and Francoeur had RBI doubles in the first inning. And for Billy, it was his 40th of the year and drove in his 91st run. So Doug Fister with a tune-up tonight and coming out of the bullpen. Royals scored 2 runs in 5 innings against Max Scherzer. And that's into right field. Melky had to freeze to make sure it was going to get through. And now bobbled by Rayburn, and Melky keeps running, and the Royals regain the lead.
Let's see right here, Billy just gets his ball, gets inside of it, hits a hard ground ball in the right field, and Rayburn comes up and he kicks it right out of his glove, and Cabrera does a good job of picking this play up and continuing on home to score. You can see Eric, ball just comes right out. Kind of hard to run and catch up with it, and by the time Cabrera sees him do that, he continues from third base all the way home.
So base hit, no RBI. Cabrera scoring on the air by Rayburn. Eric Hosmer is flied out, and he's grounded into a double play. Caught by Peralta. 1 down. So Billy Butler is 2 out of 3. His double back in the first inning is our Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment.
And this is an important double here right down the line to give the Royals their first run of the game in the bottom of the first inning. Alex Gordon's able to score from first base on Billy's 40th double of the season.
Jeff Francoeur hit his 47th double in the first inning. He's 1 for 2. Inge down to second. That was kind of a awkward angle. That he had his body set up, it looked like, for a throw to first.
His body has committed to first base, but what an awkward change of mind there. He's going to throw to first. We'll take a look at him on this one, Ryan. What we talked about right here, he was totally committed to first base, and he picks up Billy out of the corner of his eye, and then, man, that could have been disastrous right there.
That throw, more times than not, ends up in right field.
Yeah.
Center field, and Austin Jackson takes care of Moustakas and the inning, but because of the error, the Royals regain the lead. your spot in the best kids club in baseball today. For only $20, 2012 Sluggers Blue Crew memberships include a white Royals batting practice jersey, a special edition Blue Crew backpack, and a water bottle. Austin Jackson grounds out to Johnny Giavotella. The Blue Crew package also includes 2012 tickets and much more. To sign up, visit royals.com/Blue Crew. Lewis Coleman recorded the final out of the 6th. Felipe Paulino went 5 innings. And then Tim Collins and Coleman pitched the 6th, and now Coleman stays on for the 7th. And now works to Don Kelly. Missed outside, ball 1. Kelly is line to right, single to right. 1 out of 3. One and 1. And that stroke to right field. Up against the padding, Don Kelly to second base. So he's hit the ball very hard to right field 3 times now, and the Tigers have the tying run at second base with 1 out. Right now on FoxSportsKansasCity.com, Steve Cameron makes the case that Alex Gordon deserves a Gold Glove, and Jeffrey Flanagan's minor league report spotlights a possible dilemma facing the Royals. Get your Royals news and insight at FoxSportsKansasCity.com. Delman Young has struck out twice and singled his 3rd inning single, snapped an 0 for 15. That'll land on the other side of the screen. 0-2. Still 0-2.
Yeah, Lewis Coleman has proven to be much more effective when he throws more fastballs than he does his slider. Right now, his slider kind of tends to want to hang a little bit out over the plate, as the one he threw to Kelly when he got the double down the right field line. But just getting to the other side of the plate has been the biggest problem as of late. When you go back to the series in Cleveland, when he really started to rely on his slider a lot more, and they got with him and say, hey, you got to work off your fastball. And sometimes you can go out there with this arm delivery, can throw that fastball and not have to even show the slider.
That hit the bat, and it's still 0-2.
And as a hitter, when you see a pitcher come from that arm angle, a pitch like that you very rarely ever see from a guy with that arm angle. So finding a consistent release point and release a little bit too late causes that ball to come up and into a right-handed hitter.
Escobar with an off-balance throw, but it's on target. So Young is out, and Kelly is still at second base. Taco Bell is helping boys and girls club teens go to college with the Graduate to Go program. Log on to graduatetogo.com to learn more. So we'll have another pitching change. Lewis Coleman is out. Aaron Crow is in. the 7th, and now Aaron Crow will try and get the final out of the 7th with the tying run at second base, and he'll be pitching to Victor Martinez, who has driven in both runs for Detroit. Aaron Crow, the Royals all-star this year. Great jump forward for him after starting last year in Double-A as a starter and finishing the season in A-ball, and then making the Royals this year out of spring training out of the bullpen. So both of the former MU Tigers have appeared tonight. Max Scherzer and Aaron Crow were teammates in Columbia. Scherzer went the first 5 for Detroit, and now Aaron Crow on in the top of the 7th. And that gets through Salvador Perez. Don Kelly didn't read it right away, but he'll move up anyway on a wild pitch.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing this. You can see just raise the door a little bit too soon, and the ball gets under his glove and underneath him and back to the fence. That's got to be the first one we've seen all year go right between the wickets.
Raise the door too soon. I like that, Frank. 2 balls and no strikes to Martinez. No accident that he has driven in 2 tonight. Pointed out earlier, second only to his teammate, adding with runners in scoring position. And he ties the game. He's driven in all 3. And he has 97 RBIs on the year. So that run is charged to Pullman. And we are tied at 3 in the 7th inning.
Man, this ball's really hit hard too, right back through the middle, fastball. And he doesn't try to do too much at the plate. Just hit the ball where it's pitched, and there he just hits a hard ground ball past Gio Patella in the right center field, and Kelly was able to score from third.
Fouled away by Alex Avila. Avila had a tough time against Paulino. Felipe struck him out twice, and then Avila flied out to deep center field in the 5th. One and one. Royals just regained the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, and did so because of an error in right field by Ryan Rayburn. 2 balls and 1 strike. And now in this inning, Don Kelly doubles with 1 out. And with 2 away, Victor Martinez drives him in. Three and one. Alex Avila growing up in a baseball home. His father is the Tigers' assistant general manager, Al Avila. His father, Ralph Avila, was a longtime scout for the Dodgers, and his full name is Alexander Thomas Avila, named after Al Campanis and Tom Lasorda. Ground ball into right field. Avila has his first hit, and the Tigers now have the go-ahead run in scoring position. Follow the Royals with the MLB.com At-Bat 11 app for your Android or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Just text At-Bat to 31826 or visit Royals.com for details. balls and 1 strike. Johnny Peralta has walked, grounded out, and singled. And Perez was kind of using his body as a wall, doing whatever he could to block that. Does keep it in front of him.
And that's really not an easy ball to block right here. It's a slider that hits way out in front of the plate. And they always say that further out in front of the plate he hits, the higher you have to be. And you can see Martinez reads it good and he gets back to second base.
And Peralta grounds it up the middle. Escobar fields, runs to the bag, and gets there in front of Avila. Tigers tie the game in the top of the 7th. Inherited runner coming around to score, and we're tied at 3 to the bottom of the 7th inning. And starter Doug Fister getting a tune-up out of the bullpen, and he allowed the then go-ahead run in the bottom of the 6th inning. It was an unearned run because of an error by Ryan Rayburn in right field. And the Royals will send up Johnny Giavotella, Salvador Perez, and Alcides Escobar. Johnny Giavotella has fond memories of the Detroit Tigers. Got his first big league hit against Detroit, a double against Rick Porcello in his second big league at bat, and he hit his first major league home run against the Tigers. That was against tonight's starter Max Scherzer. He did that back on August the 29th. A strikeout and a line out to center field tonight. John Kelly into foul territory, 1 away. And now Salvador Perez, and the next time the Tigers get Perez out in this series will be the first time. He is 5 out of 5. A single to right field and a single to center tonight, going for his 4th 3-hit game in his last 5 games, and he is hitting .350.
Just swinging the bat well, just not chasing bad pitches, waiting to get his pitch, and he's trying to just hit the ball where it's pitched, doing a good job of it.
Two balls and 1 strike. Kelvin Vladimir Herrera warming up in the Royals bullpen, so getting set to make his major league debut. Three balls, two strikes. %36% going with Eric Hosmer for the most impressive homestand, followed by Salvador Perez, and with our apologies to Frank and Joel, Mike Moustakas at 31%.
Most productive. Sorry, fans.
Right now, I think just about anything that includes Eric Hosmer is going to go Hosmer's way.
I agree.
I mean, best looking shoelaces. I think Eric Hosmer would win that one. And Perez hits it hard to center, but Austin Jackson is there for the second out. So the only out he has made, Salvador Perez knocks the laces off the ball and lines out to center field.
When he takes a swing now, he's squaring the ball up all the way. And that sounded really good coming off his bat.
Outside to Alcides Escobar, who was grounded out twice, once into a double play. Tried to bunt and he missed. Tigers scored in the top of the first. The Royals scored 2 in the bottom of the first. And it was a 2-1 game until the Tigers tied it in the 5th. Royals back out in front in the bottom of the 6th. And Detroit tied it again in the 7th. Two balls, two strikes. Doug Fister coming over from Seattle in a trade on July the 30th, and we were just in Seattle during the last road trip, and that trade was getting mixed reviews. The Mariners already have Felix Hernandez and Michael Pineda, and some did not like the trade. And if Fister had stayed with Seattle, they would have a great 1-2-3 punch. Instead, now he's with the Tigers. He has pitched 2 innings, and we go to the 8th tied. games around the league. It was the Yankees over Tampa Bay in game 1 of a doubleheader. So the Rays falling to 2.5 games back of Boston in the wild card race. Now they're tied at 2 in game 2. It was the Angels over the Blue Jays 7-2. Baltimore beating Boston. Texas 1-0 lead at Oakland. Texas's lead is 5 in the West. And mixing in some scores from the National League as the East has been decided. Atlanta continues to struggle. And Atlanta's lead over St. Louis was 2.5 games in the wild card. Kelvin Herrera making his big league debut. Herrera, 21 years old. He was named the Paul Splittorff minor league pitcher of the year. He was at 3 different levels this season. So those were his numbers combined at the 3 levels. In his first major league pitch, hits Ryan Rayburn. How many guys have done that in their big league debut? So right away, the go-ahead runner is at first with nobody out, and you can understand if Herrera is dealing with some nerves.
Well, Rayburn would say, well, I want you to deal with him a little bit differently. It goes off his arm and then off a home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman's side of his head, Bruce Dreckman's head. So we got 2 guys with 1 pitch.
So Herrera coming on for his big league debut thought he'd be facing Rayburn, who is a .250 hitter, Ramon Santiago, who's about a .260 hitter, and Brandon Inge, who's hitting right around 200. But then all of a sudden, here comes Miguel Cabrera out of the dugout. So he had a planned day off for tonight, and he swings and drives it up the right field line and down into the corner. Rayburn will be waved home as the ball bounces off the wall and away from Jeff Francoeur. So 2 pitches from Herrera, and the Tigers have taken a 4-3 lead in the 8th. And that's it for Cabrera. His job tonight was to swing the bat once, and he heads right back to the dugout.
And that's why he's such a great hitter right here. Right, come right off the bench and gets a double down the right field line, sitting all day and sitting all night and come in and get a big base hit right there late in the game. That's why he's such a special hitter. And you see Gene Lamont waving Rayburn all the way in from first base.
And Danny Worth will run for Cabrera. Now Brandon Inge asked to get a bunt down, and he takes ball 1. So Kelvin Herrera, a 1.60 ERA and 14 saves at 3 different levels in the Royals system. He represented the Royals in the All-Star Futures game in Phoenix, playing for the World team. He's from the Dominican Republic. He is not very big. He is 5'10", 188 pounds, but he has a big arm. Ned Yost was asked before the game tonight, would he try and find what is known as a high leverage situation to put Herrera in there, or maybe bring him in when he's got some wiggle room. And Ned just kind of shaking his head at that, because all year he has not been afraid to just throw a rookie into the fire and see how he responds. And that's what Herrera gets in this inning, as Inge gets the bunt down and moves Worth to third base.
You know, that's what he's been doing all year, Ryan, is just putting those guys right in the fire and not worrying about you know, their experience level and trying to see what they can do. And if you're going forward the next year, the expectations will be a little higher. At least you'll know going into spring training what you've seen in 2011, and then as far as a high leverage situation.
Infield in for the Royals, and Austin Jackson lifts it to right field. Francoeur gets behind it, and Danny Worth bluffs a tag, and that was a good decision. An absolute laser beam from Jeff Francoeur to Salvador Perez.
Francoeur gets himself in a good throwing position. He gets momentum going right through this throw and throws a strike all the way to Perez at home plate. The only thing you worried about was the bat land there and whether or not the ball was going to hit it or not. But that was a great throw by Francoeur and got over the bat there, and Salvador Perez was expecting a play, and he was trying to cover home plate.
And they're celebrating on the French Quarter. Ball one to Don Kelly, and all he's done tonight is hit the ball hard to right field. He lined out to right in the first, single to right in the fifth, double to right in the seventh. 1-1. And trying to bunt his way on, and he takes a strike. Last pitch at 97 miles an hour from Kelvin Herrera.
Well, that's kind of a bad deal there for Don Kelly. Just you get yourself in a position, we got a strike on you, then you fake a bunt with another pitch and got another strike on you. So you don't want to give that strike away with two and make it two strikes without at least trying to bunt the ball. That's always a tough thing to do when you don't know a pitcher, and especially when he throws that hard and you don't know where the ball is going to be. So that's maybe a little lack of concentration right there, lack of commitment on that pitch.
And drilled to right field. He hits it hard to right field again. This one is a two-run home run. Three runs against Herrera in the eighth, and the Tigers lead 6-3.
That's fastball right down the middle of the plate. He just gets out in front of it and drives this ball deep into the right field bullpen. Well, like you said, Don Kelly had been squaring the ball up all night, and
now we'll see what kind of a fielder Herrera is as he handles the high chopper. That puts an end to the inning. Tigers get three in the bottom half, top of the order. Alex Gordon 1 for 3, Melky Cabrera 1 for 2, and Billy Butler with 2 hits.
to 3. Jeff Montgomery and I getting ready for the final Boulevard Royals live at Kauffman Stadium this year. And when that takes place, we'll be talking about the Royals and all those doubles this year. Plus the Major League debut of Kelvin Herrera. A lot of nerves involved, and Jeff Montgomery will break that down. Highlights, reaction, post-game analysis coming up after the game. Ryan?
All right, thank you, Joel. It's the top of the order for the Royals against Doug Fister, pitching out of the bullpen for the first time this year. Gave up an unearned run in the 6th, faced only 3 in the 7th. No balls and 2 strikes against Alex Gordon. Danny Worth stays in the game at second base, came on as a pinch runner and scored in the 3-run 8th inning. Alex singled in the 1st inning, an infield single. Scored on Billy Butler's double. He is 1 for 3. And 2 out of 7 in the series. 101 runs scored this year for Alex Gordon. 2-2. Off the knuckles and into the Tigers dugout. So a relatively quiet night for the Royals offense, comparatively speaking, with 3 runs on 7 hits. Royals with at least 12 hits in the first 7 games of the homestand. That is a team record. And batting .387 in those games. Grounded to first. Kelly will get it to Fister quickly, 1 away. 7 runs scored per game in the first 7. Max Scherzer went the first 5, gave up 2 runs, and now Fister giving up the unearned run in 2 1/3 innings.
Man, when you think about it, the way the Royals have been hitting the ball has been really off the charts. I mean, you just don't see a team dominate hits like the Royals have done in this homestand. It's been very impressive, and they've shown that every time the pitcher made a mistake, they made the pitcher pay for it. But just to have that many hits combined, it just something you just don't see very often. I mean, it's a rarity for them to be that consistent in that many hits.
One and one to Melky. Another hit for Melky, and that will be 60 multi-hit games this year. Only Adrian Gonzalez of the Red Sox has more. One ball and 2 strikes. Adrian Gonzalez has 65 multi-hit games, and he still leads the league with a .340 batting average. Two down. So Fister's first strikeout.
Did a pretty good job of pitching Herrera right there. Threw a fastball up and in and got him to move his feet. Came back with 2 real nice curveballs down and away. The value of pitching inside.
It is not rare for Doug Fister to have a low number of strikeouts. He looks like a guy who should be piling up the strikeouts. He is 6'8", but more of a finesse pitcher who relies on control and using his defense. Defense let him down in the 6th inning, leading to the unearned run. Strikes out Butler on 3 pitches. So we go to the 9th in a 3-run game. And then 2 on the Chevy play of the game.
Well, that's Don Kelly. He had 3 hits on the night to this point, and that biggest one was that 2-run homer against Kelvin Herrera. It really kind of opened the game up for the Tigers.
First run coming on a Miguel Cabrera double, then the 2-run Don Kelly home run. So Herrera gives up 3 runs, 2 hits in his first major league inning. Greg Holland will pitch the top of the 9th. And we'll begin with Victor Martinez. He drove in the first 3 runs for the Tigers, twice tying the game. Tied the game at 2 in the 5th and at 3 in the 7th. He went around. It's 1-1.
Yeah, real good slider there from Greg Holland.
One ball, 2 strikes. Greg Holland is the 6th Royals pitcher tonight. Felipe Paulino went 5. He struck out 8 in 5 innings. He gave up 2 runs. Tim Collins 2/3 of an inning. Lewis Coleman 1 inning, gave up a run. Aaron Crow 1/3 of an inning. And then Herrera pitching the 8th and giving up 3. Outside. Full count. Royals hoping for a win tonight and finish with a winning record at home. They're right at 40-40. Beginning this final homestand with 6 wins and 1 loss. Sweeping a 2-game series from Minnesota, taking 3 out of 4 from Chicago, and then winning game 1 of 2 with the Tigers. 1 hop to Giavotella. Martinez is out, 1 away in the 9th.
He always seems to square the ball up. He hasn't made an easy out. Other than the strikeout, he hasn't made an easy out tonight.
Alex Avila singled in the 7th inning. And that's ripped into right center field. A 1-out double for Alex Avila. And now Johnny Peralta, who has been the victim of a good defensive play 3 different times tonight. Once as a base runner, twice as a hitter. Tigers had 2 on, nobody out in the 2nd inning. Ramon Santiago laid down a good enough bunt most times, but Salvador Perez jumped on it, grabbed it with his bare hand, and threw out Peralta trying to go to 3rd. So that's where he was the victim as a runner. Mike Moustakas and Alcides Escobar have made good plays on him as a hitter. There's a routine fly ball to right field, and there are 2 outs in the 9th. And it brings up Ryan Rayburn. He has batted twice, coming out as a pinch hitter for Andy Dirks. Dirks had gone 2 for 2. Rayburn reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. And then on the first pitch thrown by Kelvin Herrera in the top of the 8th, Rayburn was hit by a pitch.
I'm sure he didn't see that one coming. Got a young guy with a strong arm and had to be nervous. That guy's not nervous.
Got his bottle of water ready to go, his hat in his hand, ready to come on for the bottom of the 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rayburn. I'm sure somebody will look it up, but you wonder how many times a pitcher in his big league debut with his first major league pitch hits a batter.
That's interesting.
One ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. Greg Holland's been a great story all year. Gave the Royals a little glimpse of his strong arm when he was called up and pitched in 15 games last season, but his ERA was 6.75. Made some adjustments in winter ball, pitched well in spring training, and began the year in AAA. And really the only reliever, I mean, he's had a game here or there where he wasn't at his best, but really hasn't had a bad stretch all season. Moustakas plays a difficult hop and throws out Rayburn, and it's another scoreless inning for Greg Holland. Royals down by 3, getting ready to face Valverde. Begins the bottom of the 9th inning. He is 46 out of 46 in save opportunities. He leads the American League with those 46 saves. It's also a Tigers record for a single season. And just threw the ball to the screen because he felt like it. Alex Avila got a new ball and throws it down to second base. I don't remember that being part of the routine. We're used to him coming through the gate in the bullpen and spitting out 3 streams of water onto the warning track and then making that difficult leap from the warning track up onto the grass, running in with his hat off. But his last warm-up toss, here's that routine we're talking about. Both sides, and then gets all mentally prepared for that jump onto the grass. And then here's his last warm-up toss. What is that?
I have no clue.
The major league record, thank you, associate producer Al Broughton, for consecutive saves is 63. Eric Gagne. Wow. So Valverde still has a ways to go. They'll have to carry into next year, but still 46 chances, 46 saves, which will make everybody in Detroit a little more tolerant of the spitting of the water and everything else that comes with the 3-inning routine.
It's all choreographed. What can I do to be different? But like I say, you can do pretty much anything you want as long as you're good.
And a little ballet move after he delivered that last pitch, throwing a strike, went into a full pirouette. He does it all. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hosmer.
He would say that I'm very agile on the mound.
Oh boy. You can't beat fun at the old ballet, I tell you. Up the middle, behind second base, Eric Hosmer is 1 for 4. He has a 7-game hitting streak and a good start for the Royals in the bottom of the 9th.
And one thing after Valverde delivers a pitch, he's not going to be in good fielding position when his ball enters the hitting zone. You can see where he's at when this ball goes by. By the time he finishes, he can't help himself defensively with the way he finishes up.
And that pitch gets away from Avila, and Hosmer moves up to second base. It caught a lot of glove, but that was a difficult play for Avila.
Well, it kind of looked like his last warm-up pitch. I mean, this ball, like maybe it had some late movement on it or something like that. It looked very catchable. Almost like Avila's kind of stabbed at it and didn't get it in the glove.
Yeah, watching in slow motion didn't appear to be as difficult as in regular speed, so it is a pass ball on Avila. Jeff Francoeur had an RBI double in the first inning, his 47th double of the year. 2 balls and no strikes. To being a strike, but Francoeur reacting and the crowd right along with him because it appeared that maybe Jeff was leaning out over the plate.
They probably figured this was up and in. The way the ball runs in on him, they figured this is a ball on the inside up part of the plate, but it does get a piece of the corner at the top of the strike zone.
Miles an hour, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valverde, and I'm comparing him to Joakim Soria in one way, because Joakim is the anti-Valverde. I mean, he doesn't do anything when he gets to the mound. He just goes right to work. But he gets swings that don't necessarily match the radar gun.
That's what I say about Valverde. Is that, man, you think he fouled a lot more of his fastballs off.
There's 94 miles an hour. Soria is usually anywhere from 91 to 93, but we'll see swings where it looks like 95, 96, 97, and Valverde is the same thing. So he must have the same deception as Soria, where hitters are picking up the ball a split second later than they would the other pitcher. Still 2-2. In talking to people connected to the Tigers, and if there has been one real big positive surprise for them, something that exceeded the expectations from spring training, it would be the bullpen in the second half. Valverde was about all the Tigers had going in the first half. The bullpen was down around the bottom of the American League, but in the second half, Tigers bullpen has been the second best in the American League. Rancourt, maybe thinking that that pitch would be called a strike again, strikes out. One away in the ninth.
It's awful hard to get where the Tigers are without a good bullpen. Very rarely you can win your division and the bullpen doesn't step up at some point and kill those innings late in the game. And he had a good closer on the end in Valverde, but just those 6th, 7th, 8th innings, that's where the bullpen's really got to step up, and he's going to win a championship. Those guys have to get that job done.
Mike Moustakas is 0 for 3 tonight. So a 9-game hitting streak on the line as Valverde misses outside. Ryan Pena will bat for Johnny Giavotella. If Moustakas can get on, Pena would be the tying run. Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire, not afraid to call the so-called high strike. Strikes in the upper portion of the strike zone. Moustakas is 0 for 3 against Valverde. Line foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. .46 saves is a team record for the Tigers, but it's not a career high for Valverde. With the Astros in 07, he had 47, so he's trying to tie that tonight. And Moustakas lines it into left field. The tying run will come to the plate as Hosmer goes to third, and Mike Moustakas, who earlier this year tied a team record for a rookie with his 15-game hitting streak. Now he has a 10-game hitting streak.
Moustakas had a chance to extend his arms on this pitch moving down and away in the line drive out in the left center field. And you can see right there, Hoffman didn't get a good read on it. He gets a good read on it off the bat. He probably could score on it, but that run right now is not that big a deal.
So Brian Pena, Royals get a left-hand bat in there, and they get a bat that has done well against Valverde. 3 out of 4, and he's also walked twice. One of those hits is a double. Inside, ball 1 at 95 miles an hour.
Alex Avila is really having a hard time catching that fastball to his right from Valverde. Almost like he's really lunging for it, and if you square it up, you can kind of reach over there and get it, but almost like he's thinking more to his left and reacting to his right.
One and one. Breaks his bat. Inge runs out to left and makes a good play. He was all twisted up and turned around, but ran to the right spot. He retires Brian Pena.
That ball at first looked like there'd be a lot of trouble down the line, and had to make a couple different turns, but turned the right way and fielded that pop-up from Brian Pena.
This would be the first career at bat for Salvador Perez against Jose Valverde. 2 more hits for Perez tonight, so he's 5 for 6 in this series, and batting at .347. Outside for ball 1. Meyer on deck. He'll bat for Alcides Escobar. Moustakas takes off, and Perez takes inside 2-0. Hosmer opened the inning with a single with 1 out. Moustakas singled, and now 2 away to Salvador Perez. Popped up, and Don Kelly in foul ground makes the catch. Valverde celebrates. The Tigers settle for a split, and the Royals' home portion of the schedule comes to an end. And the Tigers' 6-3 victory. We'll be right back.